Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. I've done a bunch of Switch 2 leak videos on my channel, but they've been going crazy lately, and I wanted to give it some time to percolate a little bit so we could get some more information and to see if Nintendo would respond. We've gotten a ton of new leaks and a Nintendo response, so I wanted to kind of go over everything that's been going on here. It's been a couple weeks since I did like a video talking about how the Switch is the worst kept secret in gaming. I did get one comment that was like, Nintendo's announced it, this isn't a bad secret, we all know it's coming, all these leaks are fake. Not what I'm talking about at all. We know that this console exists from Nintendo's perspective and nothing else about it, except for these leaks are showing us everything about these. And recently we've gotten actual videos of like people in person handling Switch 2 models. As I think it's Genki, the case maker for the Switch 2, actually had like a booth at a video game conference, and they showed off a model of the Nintendo Switch 2, along with their cases covering it, of course, to showcase what it looks like, how the Joy-Cons work, and everything. A crazy breach of like an NDA, if applicable here. And just showcased everything that we've seen so far. It looks like everything has been confirmed. You've got the Joy-Cons that are released from the sides magnetically. It looks like they go on and off really easily, really smoothly, which is something I love. It's something I hate about the regular Switch with the track system. Sometimes you miss, you have to line it up exactly right. It's just annoying. So being able to just pop these off is so fantastic. And the fact that they clip on so easily and so quickly, hopefully that'll be a really good sign for how quick it connects to the Switch itself, like for the buttons to be working and everything. I'm really encouraged by that. And they're just showing off a Switch 2 before it's even been announced. Nintendo did apparently contact them. They denied the video was actual Nintendo Switch 2 units, that they're not official and everything. Genki walked it back and said, oh, these aren't official Switch 2 consoles that we made cases for and spent a lot of money on, which I think is just baloney at this point. Nintendo is just throwing their legal power around, which is completely within their right. They haven't announced the console itself yet. They haven't showed us what it looks like, so I don't know what these case makers are doing showing it off. But apparently, like, lawyers went to their booth at the conference and everything. It was like a whole thing. But I think Nintendo's just BSing right now. This is clearly the Switch 2 that they're showing off right now. Because why would they spend so much money making cases for a console that isn't finalized yet? It just doesn't make any sense here. I think they probably breached an NDA they weren't aware of or something like that. Or they were aware of it and they just wanted a bunch of publicity. Whatever the case, it looks like we've seen the Switch 2. But something interesting that a lot of people have seen is the little optical sensor on the inside of the new Joy-Cons, which is very indicative of like a mouse. The conjecture at this point is that you put the Joy-Con sideways and then you have a little mouse functionality. Last time we saw a mouse peripheral was on the Super Nintendo with Mario Paint, which is one of the best games on that console, by the way. So maybe they're doing some gimmick thing. It's probably something like 1-2 Switch, where they just use it for 1 or 2 games and that's it. I would love to see it in like one mainline game or a couple mainline first-party games if it's something substantial. If not, it'll probably just be a fun gimmick that's just a throwaway or something they use every now and again. Maybe for a game like WarioWare would really take advantage of that. Whatever it is, it looks interesting. It looks like something new, so that's kind of cool. We don't really know what that is yet. And we don't know the mysterious C button that's added on, I think, the right Joy-Con. So we do have a couple like questions about what's happening with these Joy-Cons, but everything else looks pretty much what we've heard so far. It looks like a bigger version of Switch. They even compare it to the old Switch. It has the magnetic Joy-Cons that detach right away. Slightly bigger Joy-Con, slightly bigger screen. And it's supposedly, I think there was some like specs leaked for it. I didn't pour a lot of time into those, but apparently I think it's like 12 gigabytes of RAM. It's going to be comparable to something like the Xbox Series S in its terms of its power, which is very encouraging. One of the things that I really disliked about the Xbox Series S for a long time is that feature parity means that a lot of games couldn't go to the Xbox because they had to run on that machine, not just the Xbox Series X. So games like Baldur's Gate 3, they had to do a lot of work to get that even running on the S in the first place. So it just holds games back. So if they're not like being optimized for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, they're not going to be the best version of the game. Or if they are the best version of the game, they're not going to run the Series S, and then Xbox players aren't going to get the game. So it's just a mess. However, now, with the Switch 2 being comparable in power to the Series S, that means we're likely going to be getting a lot of next generation game or current generation games on the Switch 2. And reports have seen that as well. I've seen lots of leaks talking about games getting ported over. Stuff like the Assassin's Creed games. They're porting over Mirage and reportedly working on the newest game for the Nintendo Switch 2. I know Ubisoft's in some trouble now. They're kind of spiraling downward. Assassin's Creed's still their main franchise. This could do a lot to boost their sales here. So these leaks and everything revolving around the console and the games, they all appear to be pretty darn real. And the biggest thing for me is if these leaks are going to be correct, they have stated that it's either going to be announced on the 17th or the 16th, so this week. Which means if it's being announced on Thursday, they're going to tell us tomorrow that there's going to be a presentation on Thursday. If it's being announced Friday, they'll tell us on Thursday. So we have a day or two to find out if these leaks are true, in essence here. And I expect Nintendo to do it pretty soon. I guess that they were going to do it in January in one of my previous videos. I guess like the first week that doesn't seem to have been correct so far, but if they announce it this week, that would be really cool. I have seen some other things saying the Switch 2 is releasing in March, which I think is bogus. There's no way it's launching 2 months after they showcase the product. I've seen other places say May or June. That seems more in line, maybe even July or August. I'm not going to put any eggs into when it's releasing. I don't think anyone actually has the release date set, but a lot of places are saying March, and I think that's baloney. But I wanted to get into a couple of things that I think are really interesting, and there's some software leaks that have been making the rounds. One of which is very prevalent because it's been corroborated by multiple sources, and it seems to line up with Microsoft's vision. Microsoft has been partnering with Nintendo for a while now, and they are supposedly porting over several of their franchises to the Switch 2, including Halo, with the Halo Chief Master Collection. There were rumors of the Master Chief Collection coming to the Switch for a very long time. They likely didn't want to put all the work in to pare it down. They likely were waiting for the Switch 2 to do this, and it looks like they probably are at this point. But not only are they going to the Switch 2, there have been lots of talks that it's also going to be going to PlayStation as well, which I think makes a lot of sense. Xbox is not doing it in the console business. I don't think they want to continue in the console business. They're very much a software brand at this point. Their whole marketing slogan at this point is like, this is an Xbox. It shows the console, and then this is an Xbox, your phone, or tablet, or smart TV. They want everything else to be an Xbox at this point. And so now it's going to be a Switch 2, this is an Xbox. A PlayStation, this is an Xbox. I think it makes perfect sense at this point. I think they're going like Sega. They're going out with the hardware business, and they're just going to stick to their software, make the money where they absolutely can, and put their games on as many consoles as possible. And I've seen the Master Chief Collection float around as a Switch title for a very long time. I think it's very, very plausible. And this is something that I think will kind of make or break the Switch 2's, make or break the Switch 2 in terms of its upward trajectory. I think if the Switch 2 comes out the gate with a couple really strong first-party games like a Mario Kart or a 3D Mario game, as well as some killer third-party support. Let's say we get Master Chief Collection day one, or some other Xbox franchise and the new Assassin's Creed stuff, and maybe another big third-party. Maybe we get something like The Witcher 3, but ported to the Switch 2 instead of the Switch version. No, the Switch version was great, but now we get like a PlayStation 4 version, PlayStation 4 Pro version on the Switch 2. Or we get some new remasters from the PlayStation 4 era that now work on the Switch 2 all of a sudden. If we get a lot of third-party support like that, I feel like the Switch 2 will have an incredible launch window, especially. I know that they're geared up to sell like 7 million consoles. I've seen some reports saying that that's not going to be enough to meet demand. And I think that's likely because they're going to have a lot of third-party support. So I'm really excited to see what's actually real here. If we're going to be getting an announcement directly from Nintendo about the Switch 2 coming. I guess it's coming in a couple of days per the leaks, and we're going to be getting a lot of cool software. I would bet that they would show off mostly the hardware in this first presentation and do a direct like in March sometime and show off all the games they have coming to the Switch 2, as well as their partner showcase. Maybe Microsoft announces the Master Chief Collection, and then people are going to be crazy because now it's like, oh man, Master Chief and Smash for sure now. I just think that will go wild, but I'm guessing it will be in like a direct in March or something like that. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Do you think these leaks are real? I mean, we've seen the consoles in person. I feel like there's no doubt that they're real at this point. I think there's just a couple questions we haven't really gotten answers to, but everything else is pretty much set in stone. Let me know if you think about the software leaks and anything else that you've seen around the internet. Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.